Subsea Systems Incorporated. Sea Trek gives you the experience of visiting the ocean floor without learning how to scuba dive. However, it's much more like wearing an old-style atmospheric diving suit than scuba gear, so your movement is pretty limited. I would recommend Sea Trek as a one-time novelty, something to do if you never plan to get certified to scuba dive. But your experience can vary widely from location to location, so be sure to get some details about your excursion before you go. I recently did Sea Trek during a visit to Cozumel in the Mexican Caribbean, at the Chankanaab Nature Park. The excursion starts at the end of a pier, where your guide will give you some brief instructions about following hand signals, including how to signal if you're panicking and want to go back to the surface, and how to get into the water wearing the bulky Sea Trek diving helmet. Answer, slowly. Then it's time to put on the gear, which resembles a spacesuit helmet that sits right on your shoulders. Out of the water, it's really heavy, so you don't want to linger on the dock. You don't get any other gear, so just wear a bathing suit. Once you are in the water, you basically just sink to the bottom, and voila, you're standing underwater. A hose from the surface feeds air into the helmet, and the pressure keeps the water out. For breathing purposes, this works great, and the big transparent bubble around your head helps prevent you from feeling claustrophobic. It all seems fairly idiot-proof, unless you decide to intentionally remove the helmet. You do need to stay upright, of course, but it's surprisingly hard to fall down underwater. The drawback of this system, however, is that the sound of the air being pumped into the helmet is awfully loud, so you're not exactly getting a serene, Little Mermaid type experience down there. And, even underwater, the helmet makes for clumsy movements, and you still feel the weight of the thing on your shoulders. Once the initial thrill wears off, there's also the problem, at least at Chankanaab, there's not much to see or do while you are at the bottom. You really can't stray far from the dock, your time below is limited, less than 10 minutes, and the sea bottom right off the beach is pretty barren: sand, a few rocks, some pilings, and an occasional fish floating by. Our guide did his best to make it all seem interesting, including scattering food to draw the fish closer, but it wasn't. Certainly not for the $75 to $100 you'd pay for the experience. De Palm Tours in Aruba charges less and has a special underwater walkway for Sea Trek tours that leads past a sunken Cessna airplane. That sounds better, as does the Dolphin Trek at the Zelha Park in the Riviera Maya. You also can find Sea Trek in the Bahamas, at the Atlantis Resort, Belize, Honduras, Puerto Rico, Grand Cayman, St. Lucia, St. Martin, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and, soon, Jamaica, at Dolphin Cove. In Mexico, the Xcaret Park and other vendors in Cozumel also offer Sea Trek.